Assalamualaikum everyone. Today our group will be presenting about the previous versus the current rulings of Cochineal in Malaysia. So this topic explores how Islamic law interprets the use of cochineal, which is a red coloring made from insects, and how Malaysia's fatwa on this matter has changed over time. So the table of content consists of the introduction, background, Fiqh principles relevant to cochineal, the rulings of cochineal in Malaysia, the alternatives of cochineal, e-code alternatives to cochineal, consumer education and awareness, as well as the conclusion. For the introduction, cochineal extract, also known as the E120, is a red dye made from insects called Dactylopus coccus. It's used in sweets, drinks, cosmetics, and also medicines. However, the question arises, is it halal or is it haram? So in Islam, Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 168, O mankind, eat from whatever is on earth that is lawful and good, and do not follow the footsteps of shaitan. So this means that what we consume must not only be halal, which is allowed, but also tayyib, which is pure and wholesome. Since cochineal comes from insects, it becomes doubtful. So many scholars in Malaysia question whether it should be used in halal products.
A little bit of background about cochineal. Cochineal is a natural red dye from female insects called Dactylopus coccus. And to get this red dye, the insects first must be harvested from cactus, and then it will be dried under the sun. After that, it will be grounded into a fine red powder, and from here, the red pigment called carminic acid will be extracted. It is durable against heat and light, so it is often used in food, cosmetics, and medicines. However, this process raises the questions of, has the insect changed completely into a new, pure substance, or does it still count as something haram? And so, this is where scholars discuss the concept of istihalah, or transformation in Islamic law. To determine whether cochineal is halal or haram, scholars use several fiqh principles. Number 1, najasah and khaba'ith. Most insects are considered impure and repulsive except for locusts. This is supported by the Quran in Surah Al-A'raf verse 157, which says, Allah permits what is pure and forbids what is impure. Number 2, istihalah. Scholars found that cochineal still comes directly from insects and hasn't fully changed into a new substance, so it still remains haram. Number 3, istihlak. Even though cochineal is used in small amounts, Malaysia does not accept this as an excuse because the impurity still remains. Number 4, maslahah. Since there are many halal alternatives like beetroot and paprika, cochineal is not needed and therefore it is not allowed.
Moving on to the rulings of cochineal in Malaysia. For the previous ruling, in 2011, the Muzakarah Fatwa Kebangsaan ke-93 ruled that cochineal was permissible, which is halal. So the reason was based on two principles. The default rule, everything is halal unless proven otherwise. The belief that cochineal had gone through istihalah, meaning it had transformed into a new, pure substance. It was also seen as a safer, natural alternative to chemical dyes. These rulings made it easier for industries to use cochineal while following halal standards. However, for the current ruling, in 2023, Irsyad Hukum Siri ke-817 changed the ruling. Cochineal was officially declared as haram. This decision was based on the Quran and Hadith that only locusts are allowed among insects. So according to the Shafi'i school, insects are impure and extraction from them does not count as full transformation. So this strict stance protects consumer trust and ensures Malaysia halal product remain credible worldwide. So it also reinforces Jakim's position as a global leader in halal. For the comparative views, different countries have different rulings. For example, in Indonesia, the Majlis Ugama Indonesia, which is MUI, allows cochineal if it's safe and beneficial. The Maliki school is also more flexible, allowing some insect-derived ingredients, but the Shafi'i school, followed in Malaysia and Brunei, strictly forbids it. In Malaysia, cosmetics remain a grey area. There is no specific fatwa yet. This causes uncertainty, but most companies avoid using cochineal to stay on the safe side.
Since cochineal is haram, industries are now switching to alternatives of cochineal that is halal and natural colorants. For example, number 1, E162 beetroot red, which gives a bright red color that is halal and natural. Number 2, E163 anthocyanins, which comes from berries and grapes. And are rich in antioxidant. Number 3, E160A beta-carotene, which gives a yellow to orange hues and are plant-based. Number 4, E160B annatto, which are orange-red tones from plants. And number 5, E140 and E171, which are chlorophyll and titanium dioxide used for blending. These substitutes are halal, sustainable, and meet the consumer demands for clean and natural. The decision to ban cochineal has led many industries to reformulate their products to maintain halal certification. Manufacturers replace cochineal with E162 beetroot red and E163 anthocyanins. These alternatives kept the same color, quality, and taste without affecting shelf life, and as a result, products become halal certified and were well received by health-conscious consumers. This showed that reformulation can meet both religious and market expectations. Fruit-flavored drinks also switched to E160A beta-carotene and E160B annatto. There were technical challenges in achieving the same bright red shade as cochineal, but still, the final products were fully halal certified, and this even helped boost local and export markets, which proved that halal compliance can also strengthen global competitiveness. Cosmetic brands replaced insect-derived pigments with plant-based and synthetic dyes. This met the rising demand for halal, cruelty-free, and vegan-friendly products. It also expanded their consumer base beyond Muslims to ethical and eco-conscious buyers. Overall, the cochineal ban pushed Malaysian industries to innovate while maintaining halal integrity. Although reformulation came with technical challenges, it built consumer trust and led to a better product quality. The shift to halal-compliant ingredients not only satisfied religious requirements but also attracted health-conscious and ethical consumers, and in the end, this transformation strengthened Malaysia's reputation as a global halal leader, showing how upholding Sharia values can drive both in.
And as for the consumer education and awareness, JAKIM plays a key role in educating both industries and consumers. So through programs like Certified Halal Executive, which is CHEX, and also Halal Awareness Training, HAT, they train people to identify non-halal ingredients like cochineal. Public campaigns and digital outreach also help consumers recognize halal logos and check the ingredients. Major events like MIHAS and campaigns by Nestle and Unilever promote halal transparency. So these initiatives strengthen Malaysia's image as a global halal leader and protect Muslims. For the conclusion, to summarize, cochineal was once considered halal, but it is now haram under Malaysia's 2023 ruling. So this change reflects Malaysia's commitment to uphold the Sharia principle of purity and consumer protection. The ban encourages industries to find halal alternatives, though there is still a gap for cosmetic rulings. So ultimately, this ensures Malaysia continues to lead globally in halal governance and maintains public trust. That is all from us. Thank you.